And we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, and I made it my mission to help you guys own it. A great day ahead of us, a great stream ahead of us, hopefully, especially for those of you who might be long on Snap Inc. today, as they do have earnings. We got a couple other ones as well. The Boston Beer Company, Mattel, also reports. And then I was going to cover some that actually ended up reporting this morning too, because I think that they're just worth chatting about. Union Pacific, Tractor Supply, and Philip Morris, which was a Own the Chaos or the Chaos Crew watch list winner. If anybody is a part of the Chaos Crew, or if you're not a part of the Chaos Crew, I'll let you know how to do that later on in the show. But let me go ahead and get everybody started with our starting five. Lindsay Heiss, Fernando Pereira. Why did I screw that up? Pereira, Chris Topher, Tiger's Edge, and John Gosson. I cannot talk today. You guys are our starting five. If you didn't make the starting five, it could be because you are not subscribed or hit that notification bell to get notified when I go live at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time every day, Monday through Thursday. Our starting five showed up here early because they did have the notification bell set and they were subscribed. So if you want to get the shout out at the top of the show, then make sure you're doing that stuff. So what's up, Don? Good to see you. Let me just shout out a couple of other people that were here early. Good to see you, MMT, Savvy Money Show, always bringing the heats. And Bruce, Don Fran, always hanging in here as well. No, I was not. I was not hungover this morning. Okay. So, looking at the stock market right now, it is green. We started off the day red. And then now it's back to green. We have the S&P that's up another 30 points. The Dow's up 83 points. Nasdaq's up 134 points. Crude oil is actually down below $100 a barrel now at 96.28 per barrel. That's WTI crude. So very interesting to see how the market's been shaping up. I mean, this is 2 days in a row now where everything kind of starts in the red and it ramps back up. A lot of this can be attributed to the fact that many people are thinking the Fed isn't going to come in and be as hawkish this time around, or at least that 100-point rate hike is more than likely off the table. If that's the case, and the most that we see next week is a 75-point rate hike, then that's what's kind of gotten people, I guess, excited a little bit to be bullish on stocks. This could be a short-term rally, or maybe this is the rally that starts to go into the end of the year. I think that is been up for debate for quite some time. I've yet to really have a conviction on this either way. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw a new low in the market overall before we, make a move back up going to the end of the year. But it also wouldn't surprise me if this was it, if we've already seen the bottom back in June. So we'll see. I think the Fed's going to have a lot to do with that. If we do see a 100-point rate hike this time around, then it could spell a lot of trouble because stocks were already pricing a lot of that in. But if they come in at 75 points or less, then I think stocks can continue to rally. So that's going to be something to certainly keep an eye on. We'll be watching that next week. It's going to be an important week next week. Not only do we have earnings, which I, of course, will be reacting to, but also the Fed is in that mix as well. I hope you guys will be tuning in next week. We got some huge stocks that'll be reporting, and I will be live for and reacting to. So just to give you a snapshot, guys, I mean, just starting out of the gate on Monday, we got Logitech, Whirlpool, Squarespace. So Monday's still got some pretty notable stocks there, but we're also looking at.
Dude, Cam said that the bullets are in here.
I don't have any ammo in here.
Dude, what the fuck, bro?
I don't have any ammo.
It's under there.
What?
It's under there.
It's underwear.
Under your ass, bitch!
Jesus Christ. It's always the guns with that guy. I feel like this is going to be an everyday thing. Somebody's going to come in here and disrupt my shit. Now I need to be prepared for it. I need to have a good comeback. I need to have like I don't know, a Nerf gun hiding under here, paintball, so I can just light somebody up. Although somebody wants to bring me beers every now and then, that's fine. Fucking Peter. Fart spray. Yes, that would be hilarious. Joke's on you this time, bruh. Airsoft pistol, smoke them. One of these times I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna smoke somebody. I don't know if it's Peter or whomever. That's this place, man. Everybody's chopping it up. I love it. I love it. All right. What was he even saying? You know, I saw the door open and I didn't even see him fly by here. I saw the door open and I just didn't see anybody. He just flew right on in here. Oh my God. All right. So water hose, yeah. Where was I don't even know what I was talking about. It wasn't that important, I guess. Oh, the Fed. Yeah, anyways. I don't know which way I'm leaning towards at this point. I think that we're going to see a pretty decent move to the upside if the Fed comes in with a smaller, anything 75 points or lower. I think that's what we're going to see. If we go in higher, then obviously the market's going to react negatively. But let's go ahead and talk about Snap a little bit. So Snap has earnings this afternoon after hours. Of course, the stock is up 6% this afternoon. Pretty decent move here. So it's up 6% to $16.45. It's crazy to think that just back in October, we were talking about this sitting at $83. One of the big reasons is daily active users has certainly slowed down. And of course it has, right? Because it certainly isn't going to be as high as it was during COVID when everybody was just locked away in their homes and doing all kinds of crazy shit on their favorite platform. But nevertheless, I think Snap has a lot to offer, especially from a competition side of things, because they have augmented reality, which really kind of gives them the edge. And none of the other platforms really have that. One of their biggest biggest competitors, I should say, is TikTok, of course. Meta platforms is certainly in that conversation. And then is that the Harlem Shake? What? There is hands. I don't know what the hands. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck it. Fuck it. One in Rome, bitches. There's 4 people. That was very uncomfortable. Holy shit. I haven't heard the Harlem Shake in a minute. I'm not sure what I feel like I was sexually harassed at some point during that. Some unwanted touching happening. Jesus. All right. Anyways, look at this now. We got 6.5% up to the upside heading into the close. Expectations here are let's see. A loss of 1 cent, $1.14 billion in revenue. As I was mentioning, AR is kind of the edge that they have. None of the other platforms and social media has the competition regarding AR. You can't just go in and try on some clothes in your favorite social media app. And the filters obviously are huge for Snap. And so to me, I think that this is definitely interesting. You got a couple of other metrics. Daily active users, of course, is going to be the key highlight here. Some other notable tidbits of information. July 18th, 2022, Snapchat introduced the ability for people to chat while at their computers and not just on their phones. Could be a big deal, especially if you're not home anymore, right? It's called Snapchat for Web. And what does this mean for the services like Zoom, that sort of thing? That's going to be a big question, of course. As of the first quarter of 2022, photo and video sharing app Snapchat had a 332 million daily active users worldwide. It's up from 319 global daily active users for the final quarter of 2021. So that's going to be a number to beat. Since its launch in 2011, Snapchat has gone on to create 101 different product features for its users. I believe that is probably number one, at least since 2011. Over $1 million is paid to daily to top performing Spotlight Snap creators. very interesting, especially since we're talking about, that these platforms do need to pay their creators. YouTube's still numero uno in my book, but TikTok has gotten in on that some with their TikTok fund, still not paying as well as YouTube is, but I'm sure we'll see more of that. I think that's going to continue to move to the upside. The app ranks as the 12th most popular social media platform worldwide, which I feel like is kind of low. In terms of active users, Snapchat ranks 12th popularity compared to the other top social media platforms. It's ranked higher than Pinterest and Twitter, however. So take that into consideration. Twitter is lower than 12. It's not even in the top 10. That's crazy. It's reported that an average of 5 billion snaps are created daily, according to Snapchat. An average of 5 billion snaps are created every day. That's a lot of photos and videos being shared with friends and family. Of course, that is great. That's a lot. 5 billion snaps created every day. Worldwide, internet users are spending about 145 minutes per day on social media, and that's roughly about 20% of total time spent on Snapchat. Some pretty interesting numbers. I'm actually not really that much of a Snap user. I am all over Twitter. Go follow me at Own the Chaos. But Snap's not my thing. Put it in the chat if you guys actually use Snapchat. I know it's probably more for younger people. It used to be, I think, before TikTok got big and eclipsed Snap, that it was the #1 app used between younger adults between the ages of 18 and 24. I believe the number was 85% of young adults between 18 and 24 had and used Snap on a regular basis. I don't know what that statistic is now, but I believe it was before TikTok took over. Snapchat for web sounds like a lot of LimeWire for anyone my age. Yeah, no kidding. Snapchat is kind of like a dead app. I don't think so. I mean, it has more daily active users than Twitter and Pinterest. So I don't think it's dead. Not at all. I think it just depends on how much you actually use social media. Still use it, but not as much as I did in 2014, says Alex Eden. Fair enough. That's what I think. I think that at some point you outgrow Snap, right? I think that's what it was like Facebook. I can't tell you the last time I was actually active on Facebook, right? But I'm active on Twitter every day. Every day I'm on Twitter. I think everybody just has their platform, right? That's their go-to platform. Twitter's my go-to platform. And then I guess a second, if I had a second place, it would be Instagram. But that's really because I like looking at reels and stuff. I don't really post a ton on there, but all right. So there's Snap. A couple things. StockTwits is my go-to. Yeah, okay. If you're that heavily involved. A couple other things that are worth noting. Boston Beer Company reports earnings today too. I know Snap's going to be the headliner here, but SAM is a ticker symbol. And that has obviously been just absolutely destroyed. $1,349 is where this was at per share in April of 21. Now sitting at $336. Insane. This is trading at 28 times next year's earnings, even after that crazy move down. So it's been very volatile, to say the least. It is down 35% year to date. And over the last year, it's down 63, almost 64%. This is going to be something to certainly watch for. Estimated earnings per share, $4.62. Revenue estimated around $611 million. Obviously, the big question here is, have they been able to overcome the competition when it comes to Truly, which is the seltzer that they own, they take ownership of? So watch for that to be addressed, especially now that we are in the summer months. I'm sure they'll probably give us some guidance here. They've beaten earnings per share estimates 38% of the time, and it has beaten revenue estimates 63% of the time. So obviously those odds aren't exactly great, but we'll see. This is your 5-minute chart. Going back to the daily, you can see that this is just briefly started to close over the 50-day moving average. Had quite a stretch of green days too, really since July 12th. We've had some really nice green going on with SAM, and has seemed to have bottomed out at 287 down on June 22nd. So obviously we'll see. The market is officially closed as of right now, and we'll see what Boston Beer comes up with. I think that they usually don't report till later in the after hours. We also have Mattel that's going to be reporting after hours as well. They have estimated earnings per share of 6 cents, and consensus revenue estimate is around 1.1 billion. They've beaten estimates 100% of the time, and has beaten estimates on revenue 100% of the time. So I guess it won't be too much of a shocker. And they've been trading for a long time. They've been publicly traded since 1980. This is according to Seeking Alpha. Monthly chart looks hella bullish. Look at this monthly chart. Cup and handle right there. That monthly chart looks pretty nice. And the daily has some really nice bullish moves going on too. Closed up on the day 2.8%. We'll see what Mattel comes up with. Union Pacific came in and it closed red on the day, but they actually have pretty decent earnings this morning. Just wanted to briefly touch on this. They came in and beat earnings $6.27 billion in revenue. They beat by 160 million. They beat by 8 cents. $2.93 was the actual there. Outlook was that they're expecting a stronger second half as volumes should produce full year carload growth 4 to 5%, full year operating ratio around 58%. That's some pretty good numbers there. Union Pacific, if you're looking for some of the shipping companies, this is definitely a good one. They have a pretty decent dividend as well. Tractor Supply did really well too. And just right before I get into Snap, I don't think it started moving yet. It might have. I did want to talk about Philip Morris. It's up 1%, but it doesn't look like it's moving on anything just yet. It might be. Let me just cover Philip Morris real quick. If you guys are a part of the Chaos crew, you know that I have put Philip Morris on the watch list. I just wanted to reiterate this real quick, as it looks like Snap is starting to move. I'd mentioned just a few short weeks ago, and let me just pull up the chart on Philip Morris. They had earnings this morning and crushed it. They closed up the day up 4%. I talked about this being a good play because the Biden administration, they are looking to lower nicotine levels in cigarettes. An announcement was posted in the Office of Management website indicated that the administration is moving forward with an FDA plan for elimination. This is about a few weeks ago. And I said that vices don't go away during times of turmoil. So recessions, inflation, all that stuff, that doesn't matter for vices. And vices meaning cigarettes. If you guys aren't familiar with what Philip Morris does, I guess I should have clarified. But the stock sold off on this news, and I had mentioned in our watch list that it could be a buying opportunity. And wouldn't you know it, the chart looks absolutely fantastic. Today, they crushed it, up 4%, absolutely beat earnings. How can you get into the Chaos crew? Hit that join button next to subscribe. Each and every morning, I put out a watch list of stocks that I think are worth keeping an eye on, and I give full technical breakdown on those as well. So check out the join button next to subscribe, or you could always go to ownthechaos.com as well. All kinds of good stuff that is offered there besides the watch list as well. You can get access to our Discord group and a flurry of other good value adds as well. Would love to have your support there. It's only $5 a month for the watch list, and you get one every day, folks. But would love to have you guys there as a part of the crew. Anybody who's in the chat can attest to how valuable that is and just what a great community we have. So hope to catch you guys there. Hit the join button next to subscribe or go to ownthechaos.com. All right, so Snap is starting to move here, but I don't see any numbers just yet. Looks like 10 after 4, I think, is when we're going to be expecting those. So in about 6 minutes, 5 minutes or so, looks like the stock's just moving on anticipation, not actual numbers that have been put out just yet. So we'll see. Put it in the chat, though. What do you guys think? What do you think about Snap? Mike Hudson put, the question is, even if they are growing their daily active users, are the users the demographic that spend money? Ooh, that is a very interesting question, because typically, if you're 18 to 24 years old, you're probably poor, right? You're a poor college student or something like that. So that's a great question. I think it just depends on what exactly the advertisers think is going to get, they're going to spend money on. So very good point. The Q's closed at 307.43. Very, very good day for the markets overall. Let's check this out. So Nasdaq 100, it's up 1.4%. Hell of a day. It's been a hell of a stretch of days here. Look at this. Really, since the middle of June, where everything bottom for the Qs, it's been fantastic. Qs are up over the 50-day moving average, well above that now, which is at 292. So pretty decent move. What I also thought was interesting, and one of our Chaos crew members brought this up in our Discord, the VIX is below the 200-day moving average for the first time in a minute. Well below. The VIX is now at 23. We start to get down in the teens, it might be real beneficial to start owning some stocks. And we've been talking about this for a while now, but of course, anything can move on a dime. But things are starting to look pretty good, especially considering how far things have corrected. Cinestyle says, yeah, sympathy plays for Snap, Meta, Twitter, Pinterest as well will also move more than likely on Snap's earnings. So keep an eye out for those. By the way, for the 218 of you watching, I certainly appreciate you allowing me to be a part of your afternoon. We got 33 likes, though. I haven't asked anybody to hit that like button. So I appreciate the 33 of you that just went out of your way to hit that thumbs up. But if you forgot about it, I won't hold it against you. But if you wouldn't mind helping support the channel, I certainly would appreciate you hitting that thumbs up. Turn that thumb blue, please. Help support the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. Hardly takes any effort at all, but it helps me out a ton. I certainly appreciate it. Starks thinks that Snap's going to dump. We got about 2.5 minutes before we actually find out if that's going to happen. Imagine buying puts on QQQ. Yeah. Imagine buying puts on Qs on the Qs and really for the last several weeks, right? It's been interesting. 400% intrinsic value on Snap from Willis. Appreciate the tidbit of info. What just happened to NVIDIA? I don't know. Let's take a look while we wait. Nothing really happened to NVIDIA. It's down 1%, but that doesn't look like it's anything crazy. AMD too? Oh, now it is. Now it's down 1.5. No, AMD's not down a lot. All right, let me see. See if I can find something on Twitter machine. Any news on this AMD pullback? I got nothing on AMD. Guys, if you're just tuning in, we're waiting on those Snap earnings. They will be coming out in about 1.5 minutes. In the meantime, it looks as if some of the semiconductors have had a decent pullback here. Let's see if there's any good reason as to why. Semiconductors have been on an absolute rip as of late. Look at the daily chart on this, and really since beginning of the month, they have gone up considerably. AMD's moved up a ton. Qualcomm had like a 4% day, I want to say. We just talked about Qualcomm yesterday. Oh, sorry, it was up 2%, but closed over the 200-day moving average on Qualcomm. Still think that that's the better play out of any of the semiconductors. It's the cheapest one by forward multiple. I got nothing here. I got nothing on the semis. If you guys want to share it, you guys find something. I certainly wouldn't mind if somebody shared if they find something, but I don't see anything on any of the semis. All right. Qualcomm is better than MU. Yeah, it's cheaper, I believe. Let me just double check. Qualcomm is trading at a forward multiple of 12 times next year's earnings. Micron is trading at 7. The thing with Micron is that they aren't quite as diverse as Qualcomm is. You got to think about the chips that Qualcomm provides for Apple, Samsung, a lot of the other Android phones. Plus, they're getting into the metaverse. It's just a better run company, but I will concede this is a cheaper stock. But they're both cheap, but Qualcomm's still also cheap compared to NVIDIA and AMD that are trading well above 20 times next year's earnings. But yeah, Micron did go down a little bit, down 1.5%. Qualcomm, I didn't actually check what was going on with them after hours. Qualcomm's Qualcomm barely moved after hours. That's interesting. All right. Snap's earnings are officially out. Let's take a look at the chart here. And it is definitely tanking right now. It's down 13, almost 12%. Sorry, 13% and falling. It's now down 14%. Can't even keep up with it. Let's go ahead and pull those numbers up. Remember, Snap, they could have come in and actually beat those earnings, but it really comes down for this stock to the daily active users. Have they increased? Have they decreased? It looks like to me that perhaps maybe there's a decrease. The stock's now down 20%. Absolutely getting hammered here after earnings, after hours. Sorry. They came in at a loss of 2 cents. So it looks like they missed on earnings. I want to double check this, but it looks like revenue came in at 1.11 billion and the expectation was 1.14. So it looks like they missed on both, but I want to corroborate that with another source. So there's a little bit of mixed estimated earnings per share. It looks as if they came in at a loss of 2 cents. I had a loss of 1 cent was the expectation. Some are saying it was a loss of 4. So either way, they came in at a loss of 2 cents. So not a profitable quarter for Snap. They also came in and missed on revenue. That seems to be a pretty general consensus that they missed on revenue, $1.11 billion compared to the 1.14 that was expected. Stock is continuing to sell off here, and I'm going to try to see if I can pull up some more useful numbers here for Snap. As soon as I get it, here we go. Yeah. So the loss was expected at 4 cents. They came in at a loss of 2. And yeah, just to confirm, 1.11 billion. The estimate was 1.14. So that is your earnings numbers. I'm going to try to see if I can pull up some other useful info, especially when it comes to daily active users, because even though these numbers obviously weren't great as far as earnings are concerned, it looks to me that there's a lot more to it than just this. So as soon as I find the full report, let's see here. I'll give you some more info. Revenue increased 13%, but still was missed. A net loss of 422 million compared to 152 million in the year prior. So much more of a loss there. Looking for daily active users. That's the real number that I want. Give me the DAUs. Daily active and monthly active users is really what we're looking for. Man, this stock is still selling off. Now down 21% after hours and falling. Absolutely getting crushed. Let's check in on Meta. Also, not really a move. Oh, no, that's MetLife. Hold on. Meta Platforms is down now 6% on the earnings results for Snap. Still tanking and still falling here. Whoa. Twitter down only 2%. So I guess not as bad, but still reacting to this nevertheless. Now down 2.5. Pinterest is probably getting crushed. Pinterest is now down 6.25. So pretty similar moves across the board. But let's check back in with Snap, as that is the one that's really getting hammered now, down 22% after hours. Jesus Christ. What a move down. Hey, thanks for the donate, Willis, aka African Emporium. I bought Snap and Meta puts. Whew. Unbelievable. I'm still looking for those active users. Here we go. Daily active users were up 18% year over year to 347 million. They authorized a $500 million stock repurchase program over the next 12 months. I think that this is, I'm in agreement with Savvy Money Show, just based on the preliminary numbers. So they came in and beat expectations on daily active users, and Savvy Money Show made just a simple overreaction. They missed on earnings per share, and they missed on revenue. Daily active users was growing, though. And I think that for it to be down 22, now 23% after hours, it would make sense that if this was overreaction. That is crazy. This is a very strong over reaction, I think. Yeah, they missed on earnings per share, sure. And for the record, I'm not in Snap. This is just my own observation, not being an investor in this stock. Based off of those numbers that I'm seeing right now, this looks like a strong overreaction. They missed on earnings per share, they missed on revenue, but daily active users was a pretty solid beat. That was a pretty solid beat for sure. Let's see what guidance is. That's usually the next thing. They're not providing guidance, so that's probably another reason why this is down. They're not providing guidance for Q3. I guess more than it says, given uncertainties related to the operating environment, we're not providing our expectations for revenue and adjusted EBITDA for the third quarter of 2022. So that is why it's selling off as much as it is. Daily active users are up. Revenue came in under expectations as well as earnings per share, but you have no guidance given. And that always, uncertainty always freaks people out. It always does. And if they're not going to provide guidance, you're going to see a sell-off. But in my opinion, I do think that this is something that probably you could take advantage of on an overreaction. For it to be down 23, now 24%, this is a bit much, in my opinion. A bit much. And for at $12 a share, I think that this is something that actually looks like it could be pretty juicy. It is, the bottom on this was $11.88 that we saw in June 14th, on June 14th. So that's going to be an area to watch for. If it breaks below that, pretty good chance that it could come lower. We saw this come as low as $7.89 during the bottom of the pandemic, or the pandemic lows back in March of 2020. So we're getting pretty damn close to what those levels were. And now the stock's down 25%, still selling off here, sitting at $12.24. Man, and it looks as if some of the other social media platforms are also continuing to sell off here. We got Meta that actually doesn't look like it's moving down as much. It's starting to recover somewhat. It was down around 7-8%, and now only down around 5% after hours. Check back in with Twitter, and that is also recovering a little bit here. It's now down only about 1.5%. So no big deal there. Pinterest was down around 6%, still down around 6.5%. So not recovering as much as Meta or Twitter is at the moment. And let's check back in with Snap now, and it is down now 26, almost 27%. This to me, guys, seems like an overreaction. And you could wait, a day or two, maybe 3. Watch the buying come back in. Watch it come back through. I'm not saying that it's going to be a guaranteed thing, but this to me looks like a pretty good risk reward setup. Now trading down around 27%. That is crazy. Below $12 a share now because they didn't provide guidance. So just to recap, if you guys are just tuning in, by the way, if you're just walking through the door, make sure you hit that thumbs up while I hand you the results here. So they came in and missed on earnings per share. The expectation was a loss of 1 cent, I believe. Loss of 2 cents is what they came in at. They missed on revenue as well. Came in and did not provide guidance, but the only bright spot that I'm seeing so far is that they did beat expectations on daily active users. So that's something that we need to certainly take a look at. If the growth is still there and they're actually growing faster than what people are thinking or were expecting, that's also worth noting. This doesn't mean that I'm buying it based off of that or that I would consider buying it just because of that. But I do think that the reaction here is just a little overdone. I don't think that it deserves a 27% sell-off, but that's just the market that we're in right now. Let's check in with some of the other earnings that we're also reporting this afternoon. We have Sam Adams. That doesn't look like those earnings have come through. I think they actually report a little bit later in the day. So nothing there for Sam just yet, but we also have one other one that I had my eye on for after hours today, and that was Mattel, I think. Mattel looks like those earnings are out. I can pull those up here real quick. Mattel came in. They had expectations of 6 cents per share. Estimated was around 1.1 billion in revenue. Apparently, there's some worries over margin, which is why the stock sold off. It's down 3.8% after hours. The stock came in. They adjusted their full year guidance, adjusted EBITDA of $1.10 to $1.13 versus $1.12 consensus, so slightly above what people were expecting. Let's see what the earnings per share are. So it looks like guidance for Mattel wasn't so bad, but some worries about margins decreasing. Yeah, fiscal year 22 revenue growth 8 to 10%. Backs to fiscal year 2023 growth view up to high single digits. Net sales 1.236 million, up 20%. Gross margin of 44%, a decrease of 310 basis points. So yeah, that is why it's selling off here after hours. Net income of 66 million. Man, I didn't realize that Mattel is that small of a company. Here we go. Earnings per share 18 cents. Revenue came in at 1.2 million. No, sorry, 1.2 billion. Yes, 1.2 billion. Consensus was $1.48. So they came in and just kind of so-so, and the margins were shrinking. So that's why Mattel is actually selling off right now. Latifa, electrical engineer, asks, is it time to buy Snap or Meta now? And that's a great question, right? So most of you are here for Snap's earnings, and there's about 300 of you guys watching. So I certainly appreciate you all being here. If you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up, I certainly would appreciate it. We also have Shit or Legit coming up in just a few minutes. So make sure you get your stocks in there, and I will let you know if your favorite stock is Shit or Legit. Put SOL and your favorite stock ticker in the chat, and I will be happy to take a look at it for you. But looking at Snap right now, they came in and missed on earnings per share. They missed on revenue. They came in and beat on daily active user expectation, which is always a good metric, always a metric that investors follow, especially with social media companies. And the real kicker here, why the stock sold off so much, is because they pulled their guidance for Q3. They're not providing guidance whatsoever for the quarter that we're currently in. And that's why you're seeing the sell-off. So to me, I think that Snap, and this is just my opinion, I'm not telling you what to do, Latifa, but I think they're both worth scooping up. Snap, to me, this looks like an overreaction to these earnings. So I think that you could capitalize on those, on this overreaction. Meta is just stupid cheap. It just is. It's now down 5 1/3% on reacting to Snap's earnings. Something tells me that Meta is not going to pull their Q3 guidance. I would be shocked if that happened. Here's the crazy part about Meta. This is now trading at 15 times next year's earnings. That's below the S&P 500. The S&P 500's average forward PE is close to 17 times next year's earnings. So it is below that. And Meta is still growth stock, for crying out loud. This is a FANG stock, and the rest of the FANG stocks are well into the 20s. This, to me, is a very cheap stock for something that comes in at $40 billion of free cash flow a year. Definitely worth paying a premium for, and it is not trading at a premium at all. So this, to me, if you're looking for a safer play, and I use that term lightly because of how things have been with the social medias as of late, but Meta, in my opinion, is ridiculously cheap, and I think it is trading at a steep discount. You could play both of these, right? Snap didn't have a great quarter, but it's overreacting right now. Meta is just cheap. At the end of the day, it's just cheap. Now, Meta has earnings next week, which I will be reacting to at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time, and so make sure that you're tuned in for that. And that you are subscribed and hitting that notification bell to get notified when I do go live for the reaction of Meta. But this is something that I think, in my opinion, is just ridiculously cheap. And now that it's selling off and reacting to Snapchat's earnings, I think that this is a great opportunity. Again, just my opinion. But I think that both of these stocks now look like good opportunities to scoop up. Raylan Records chimes in and says, Snap, all insiders have been selling and stock comps have been huge for the past few years. It's been diluting investors for a while. It has been. That is very true. But Not as much as some other stocks like Palantir, for example, or we just talked about this yesterday on the offering that Carnival Cruise had, right? Huge dilution going on there. So not to that extent. I won't say that some dilution is good and some dilution is bad. It's all not great, but Snap hasn't really diluted nearly as bad as some of the other ones. But I get what you're saying. Starting to recover slightly, and I use that term loosely as well. It's only down around 2, as I say this, only down around 24%. It was down over 27% at one point here after hours. So that's certainly worth noting, I guess, that it isn't as bad as it was. We'll see. We'll see what they say on their conference call. Let's not forget either. They did announce a $500 million buyback. It's not a really lot of money, all things considered, but it's big for them. 100% agree with this. Angel Flores says Meta was cheap at $155 a month ago. It's still cheap. It's still cheap. Yeah, of course it was cheap then. But nobody's guessing the bottom on any of these stuff, on any of this stuff. But yeah, it was 100%. It was cheap. Yeah, 155. I agree with that 1,000%. It's still cheap though. It's not expensive. I don't think anybody will tell you it's expensive. Very interesting point. Cinna says Meta is cheap, but I personally am bearish on the entire market until capitulation happens. Not a perma bear, but I don't trust this rally. I don't blame you. But I don't think there's any I don't think anybody has. How do I phrase this? I don't think there's a guarantee that capitulation has to happen. And who knows, right? I hear you 100%. Fed comes out next week and jostles the market around, and maybe we do see that capitulatory moment. But I don't think that there's, and nobody really actually can pinpoint that, right? When's the day that we see capitulation? If we actually knew that day, we'd all be rich, right? We'd all make a shit ton of money. But is there a guarantee that we see this crazy flush? I don't think so, especially now that the VIX is about ready to fall into the teens. I mean, it would take some serious selling to see some sort of capitulatory moment where we see the VIX going up into the 40s. So I think so too. Stock Surfing says this is a good point. Seems like employment numbers are keeping hopes up. And I think that that's worth noting. I mean, we're seeing some of the bigger companies slow hiring, but at the end of the day, and I actually retweeted this out too. Go follow me at Own the Chaos. But I thought that this was interesting. So if you guys haven't seen this, Market Rebellion. So here's my buddy Huey from MetaFam. But I tweeted this out. Microsoft was cutting many open job listings. And I had mentioned, and I quoted this tweet and said that there's no one to fill them anyway, because there's 2 job openings for every able-bodied person that's looking for employment. So, there's a lot of discussion as far as that's concerned, whether or not we're going, down even further, what have you. Ganesh says the VIX is around the 20s for capitulation. It has to go to around 35. If that's the case, then we've already seen the VIX hit that number. Some are calling for 40s, but we saw this up at 35 many times this year already. We saw it 35 in May. We saw it 35 in June. So if that's the case, then maybe we were already in a capitulatory type of situation. But it closed at 23 today, and it fell below the 200-day moving average, and I think that's worth noting. Okay. I try not to be glass half empty, like full bore, and I try not to be glass half full bore either. You got to look at both sides. Even on your highest convictions, you got to poke holes in your bull cases and your bear cases, for that matter. Thanks, Latifa, for the donate. Appreciate you. Also a Chaos Crew member. If you guys want to be a part of the Chaos Crew, hit that join button next to subscribe, or you can go to ownthechaos.com. Also, if you want to see what we're up to in our why I'm in a different location, if you guys haven't watched me for a while and are wondering where the hell I'm at, I am in North Carolina. I'm just outside of Charlotte, and I'm in an area I'm going to call it a compound, because that's essentially what it is. It's a 165,000 square foot Bitcoin mining facility called MetaFi. Go at themetafi.com. You can click on the link that is in the chat. I have it actually pinned there. You get a newsletter from us and get updates from our Meta fam on what we got going on. And the Bitcoin mining facility part is awesome. It's incredible. You guys should see it. I have put video up on this before, so go check that out. But man, the Bitcoin mining facility here is absolutely insane. But that's only the tip of the iceberg about what's going on here. I'm building a 10,000 square foot studio, people. Building a new media company. Still doing the YouTube thing, not going away at all. Still here to serve you guys. But I'm also doing other cool shit here. And so if you want updates on that, on what we have going on, go sign up your email to themetify.co and sign up for our newsletter so you can get updates there. We got some cool stuff coming. I had a bunch of big meetings today, planning for a lot of cool stuff. And I can't wait to show you guys what we got going on. Okay. So thought I was quitting based on the titles. Definitely not quitting. Far from it. Far from it. Okay. It's shit or legit time. Stop Console Wars. WTRH. If you guys aren't familiar with shit or legit and you're just tuning in, each and every stream before I close out, I open it up to you guys. Determine whether or not I think that your favorite stocks, in my opinion, are shit or legit. So if you want to play along, do what Stop Console Wars did here, SOL and your favorite ticker, and it might just show up in today's stream. Might just show up in today's show. So WTRH is the ticker. Waiter Holdings. This is technology, software, and IT services stock. They operate online and ordering technology platform, provides delivery, carryout, and dine-in options. Isn't this like a POS type system, right? Where like it's the waiter or the server brings you this contraption that you just slide your card on. I'm pretty sure that's the concept here with this company. Let's take a look at some other things here. They're not operating for profit. They're not making any money right now. It's been interesting to see this chart here. Let's take a look at the chart right now. Chart is obviously not pretty. This is a 30-cent stock right now, and it was trading at one point all the way up at $6. Man, let me look up some other things before I really make my determination, because right now it's not looking good for you. On Waiter Holdings, it's down 82% over the last 52 weeks. It's down 63% year to date. They are launching apparently CBD products. That's what the recent activity has been. Waiter Holdings. I don't know if Tampa's watching, but she would be very interested in this. The agreement with multiple CBD dispensaries to start delivery of CBD products in select Texas markets, with expansion into other markets forthcoming. The move of the CBD industry is the latest action taken by the company as it transitions the business into deliver anything model. Deliver anything model. I don't like this at all, bro. Maybe it goes off, and I hope it makes you rich if you decide to go long on this. But I'm gonna go on a limb here. No, I'm not. I'm not even risking my neck here. It's shit. You ask me if Waiter Holdings is shit or legit. It is shit. Hope that's not what you wanted to hear. Ganesh, we do have earnings on AXP tomorrow. I love AXP. I just want to be very brief with that. I know it wasn't on the shit or legit list, but American Express, I think it's going to be a good one. Okay, so shit or legit. Who else has got them? AMAT, Applied Materials. Applied Materials has had a rough go of it, but this is one thing that I thought was interesting about this stock. It has been in this crazy little pattern, went straight up all the way up to 166 beginning of the year, and has kind of sort of followed this interesting little, this is a weekly chart, by the way, kind of followed this small little channel, and now starting to move back up over that $96 resistance. Came down to the 200-day moving average, or 200-week moving average, and it's bounced beautifully up there to close the day today at $104 a share. Let's just call it that. It's trading at 13 times next year's earnings, so nice and cheap. I actually like this. This is one of my top stocks to watch for the year for 2022, and it has done nothing but make me look like an idiot. So take this for what you will, but AMAT, Applied Materials, is legit. It's nice and cheap. It's come down and re-rated itself. I like the stock. I know that some people probably are looking at this like, man, I don't want anything to do with this. It's been really frustrating, and I hear you on that. But look at this. Close the day over the 50-day moving average. Momentum is certainly on the side here. So I like this. I think Applied Materials is legit. What made me make the switch from over under? I asked the people. I thought I just brought up shit or legit, and the people spoke, and they said shit or legit was way better than over under. Plus, it's easier for me, right? I don't have to commit to saying it's a buy or sell. I could just say it's legit or it's shit, and you can take that for what you will. Zim, Stephen Hoyer is asking about ZIM, integrated shipping. This stock is trading at 1 time next year's earnings. So pretty interesting one here. Let's take a look at some other stuff, some other stats on ZIM. So there's your chart. Just closed over the 200-day moving average after falling below it. Was in oversold territory here on the chart back down in the beginning of July. The stock is down around 12% on the year. And let's see what else we got going on with this one. So it is a Israel-based company, operates as fleet and network shipping lines, offering the cargo transportations and that sort of thing. So transport stock. This is a tough one for me. I'll say it's legit for now. There's a lot of analysts on here saying that it's just basically a hold. Nobody's coming out and saying it's a strong buy, but you can't argue with the valuation here. Growth is okay. It is profitable. So there's not a whole lot of things to hate about this. I'm going to go that ZIM integrated shipping is legit. Open Door. Mario asks about Open. This is a Chamath Palihapitiya SPAC stock, and trading at highs at 25.33 back in November of last year, and now trading at $5.61. Can you believe that? The platform is actually really good. If you guys aren't familiar with Open Door, it's a real estate platform. Think about realtor.com or the Realtor app, Zillow. That's its competition. And you can do just about it. Redfin also in that industry. So the platform and the technology is actually really damn good. Stock's down 62%. The growth here is extraordinary, and that's really what the key is for something like Open Door, because the valuation actually isn't bad either. This is a stock that is trading at market cap of just $3.5 billion. So it's cheap, but some headwinds or some things going against it, right? They're not profitable, so they're losing money. And in a time right now where we're seeing rising rates and inflation, very sensitive to those types of things, which is why this is down at $5.61. The momentum here, obviously not there as well, but growth is there. So depending on your timeline, if you're looking for a long-term stock, maybe this is the one for you, but there's still a lot of speculation here. I'm going to go and say this is shit for now. For 2022, Open Door shit. I think they have a lot of promise, and I think the growth story is certainly there. But Open Door is going to be rough. It's going to be rough for them. Okay. SOL on Rivian. Oh, man. I've been seeing a lot more Rivians lately on the road. Rivian was trading at $180 a share 5 days after its IPO, and has done nothing but go down ever since. That being said, they are producing more and they are doing well. And I think at this point, this looks like an appropriate valuation. I would buy Rivian here if it were me. If I was looking to buy, I'm not going to buy it, but if it were me and I was looking to buy, I would buy Rivian. And at this point, it's legit. There's going to be a lot more bumpy roads for Rivian, but when you have the backing of Amazon like you do, Ford still owns a huge chunk of this. It's down to $34, has a market cap now that actually seems somewhat reasonable when you compare it to some of the other EVs at $30 billion. It's still expensive, But I think that now it's gotten to a point to where at least looks like I would feel more comfortable. The risk reward here is legit. So we're going to go with legit on that. Rob T asking about FSR, First Solar. I'm sorry. First Solar, FSLR is First Solar. Fisker, still on the topic of EVs. This is also at a $3 billion stock. So obviously far cheaper than Rivian, but Rivian is actually producing cars and selling them. Fisker isn't, but they're hopefully on their way to doing so. Right now, Fisker is shit. I wouldn't want anything to do with this. But they start producing cars, I might change my mind. Okay. Let's see. Lots of guys here. Stay away from Zim. I know the company is fake, says Acidane. Acidane, you say a lot of things, man. I appreciate you. But there's a lot. A lot of things that you just kind of say. NVIDIA coming next month. Yes, NVIDIA's earnings will be next month. We'll do one more. Which one do I want to pick here? Fuel Cell. It is a stock. Somebody was asking about Fuel Cell. Let's just do Fuel Cell if it's legit or shit or legit. Fuel Cell it's shit. It was trading at $11. It was trading higher than that. Trading at $11 just in November during the height of the pandemic when things were going crazy. It's trading at $30 a share. Now trading 90% lower at $3.54. They aren't making money. They're losing money hand over fist. And in this environment, you just can't buy shit like this. You can't. And if you're worried that you're going to miss the bottom, stop that. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a financial professional. I don't have numbers and letters behind my name where I can legitimately tell you to buy or sell, right? But what I will say is, it is just something that you want to stay away from. And even if you don't catch the bottom, there's still a lot of room for this to run. So if you catch it late, you're still probably going to make money if we finally start to figure out that they're making money and they're actually growing. In my opinion, I would say it's shit. And there you have it, ladies and gents. That closes out the week. I'll be back on Monday. We're going to be having all kinds of more reactions to earnings. We're just getting started on earnings season, ladies and gentlemen. So many good ones to go over. Monday, we have Logitech, PetMed Express, Whirlpool, F5 Networks. And then Tuesday, we will have Alphabet, a.k.a. Google, Chipotle, Enphase, and Juniper, Microsoft. Tuesday's a big day, guys. Paramount Group, Skechers, Texas Instruments, Visa, all on Tuesday after hours. It's going to be a busy ass afternoon. Then we have Cheesecake Factory, Etsy, Ford, Meta Platforms, Noodle and Company, O'Reilly's, Qualcomm, QuantumScape, ServiceNow, Teladoc, and Upwork is on Wednesday. And then Thursday of next week after hours, we got Amazon, Apple, First Solar, Intel. That's just to name a few, guys. Roku and Texas Roadhouse. That's just to name a few. There is a shit ton of earnings next week. So it's going to be a busy ass week. And I hope that you guys are here for it. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on your way out the door. Subscribe if you're not already. And then also hit that notification bell to get notified when I go live next week at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Thursday. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. And have yourself a safe and happy weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday.